Okay, so welcome again to the JSTEAM Sukkot and Sigd session. And here we go. Hello. This is what it looks like. Most 99% of our courses are on this platform. It's called Rise Articulate. It's a platform that we do purchase. It does cost a heck of a lot of money. But my company, Jets, has a team of designers. They're both instructional designers. They're also educators. And everyone has a lot of experience in the classroom. Once you do get into the course, you press these 3 bars and you get the full image. So taking a look at the image below and then answering the poll. So immediately there's a trigger. So every student would then have to answer this question. So we can just do it orally. Do you think the bike sukkahs are valid for someone to use them as a sukkah? What do you guys think?
Yes.
Okay. So the child would then vote. And you see these are other people so far who have already used this course. So you see a tally of what people think, which is very interesting. And then now we're going to go check the sources to see if that's accurately correct. So what is the maximum minimum height of a sukkah? So if we need to see if that's halachically correct, what's an amma anyway, and what about the minimum width? So you click on it and it tells you the source in the group. All the sources are available in English in the teacher's guide. We, as an educational policy, do not feed the English right away. We want there to be an Ivrit present, but obviously you can either translate it for your kids, have a translation on the screen, or look in the teacher's guide. So if it has to be a stream amma, גובה התרומה פסולה, נביא למכשיר ושאינה גבוהה 10 טפחים, ושאין לה 3 דפנות, ושחמתה מרובה מצילתה פסולה. Okay, so it has to be a stream amma. If it's more than a stream psula, it's not kosher. And then the question, obviously, what's an amma? And there's the measurement that we were talking about. So how much is an amma? And here we go. They all talk about it. Amma bat shisha tfachim. But that doesn't really answer the question. What's a tefach? Kol tefach arba'a etzba'ot begadol. Well, on the size of what person? If we all hold up our fingers, if you all hold up your fingers, and if you can imagine doing this in class, if you want to hold up your fingers to the camera, we could probably see we do not have the same size fingers. And if you can
It's on an adult, a man adult.
Okay, but they don't know. They might not know that, right?
Yeah.
So getting that, how did they get to that? That's how they get to that conclusion. And the width, of course, here. Tanya mechzak rashav robov shulchanot kshera. Achi bat arba amot al arba amot, and there's Rashi. Shiur mashach sukkah ktana shiv'a, and there's shiva shiva tfachim. So let's review that. It was a lot of information. And here's a beautiful, it's called storyline on the system. So they have to take it and drag it to the correct place, building the smallest size sukkah. And here, on this thing are the instructions. Drag the correct minimum sized wall panel to the proper place for height. Drag, the correct minimum wood beam on the ground. Okay, so they have to say the smallest. Is this, based on what we saw, is this kosher? Is based on what we saw, is this kosher? And then they press submit when they're done. And every student, you can do this as a group, you can do it, every student has devices. And amman and tefach are clearly measurements, but we need to know what it represents. So you can also, if you have a 3D printer, you can also print an amma ruler or a tefach ruler, and then go around and measure things with that concept. So why did they even use amot and tfachot? Because that's what was around. What else were you going to use? You could, animals and things like that. So here's a nice little picture. This is kind of an Egyptian image. So there's the amman. Again, you can measure in class. The tefach, and here's the amma again. The span of the tefach and the etzbah. So a tefach is the width of your hand. Let's practice. And this you can do in class. Just have the kids measure various items in the classroom. And they would click through here, stacking one on top of the other. How many hands did you get? Depending on the age of the student, you'll get a couple of different answers. And then you can get to the idea of an average adult male. They should record. Now they can do the wall. Measure, put your arm up against the wall and measure, not the wall, whatever it is you want to measure in class. But the kids should be active. They should be getting up. They should be doing this. You can use a tape measure. You can use plasticine, whatever it is you want, and then have them line up and measure it. Thoughts, questions, feedback so far?
Great. I think it's really
Okay.
good. It's really good. Can we use this in the classes? Because I'm representing my school. Can I take this back to school tomorrow?
Well, this is for purchase. This one's not free. So
Okay.
if you purchased it, absolutely, it is yours to do for the entire school. It is one price for the whole school. It's not per student.
You'll send us the thing, yeah? Will you send us the link of this, please?
Sure. Well, the link go ahead, Julie.
Just a quick question. You said it's for the whole school. So there's some interactive components, so nothing's saved then. Kids don't have to log in with a unique username or anything.
No, you just get, but it's best to sign up on the site. The site is a little registration process, name, email, create a login account, you pay, you're in. And then you keep that login account. You could share it with everyone in your school.
I'm sorry, can it be used with Google Classroom, or are there PDFs that can be printed out that a teacher could do on the board? While we do have Chromebook carts in our school, we have one dedicated computer lab, and students, we're not a bring your own device school. We have smart boards or interactive boards in all the classrooms, but in terms of having the kids actually on computers, that becomes an issue sometimes. So do you have PDFs?
We can, it does, you know what SCORM is? It can be downloaded to SCORM, which is
that I'm not familiar with, but okay.
If you have an LMS, which is like Google Classroom, I think there's a way to integrate. You could put it into your Google Classroom integration. PDF,
you could probably assign it with the link.
Yeah, and then in terms of printing, you could just print each page on the screen if you just print screen.
Okay, so I'm thinking I'll have to look back again at like the Sukkot actually that the kids were dragging. I'm wondering if that could be made more, like I'm thinking a brain pop type thing where it shows the lines to cut out and the kids have to manually.
And you could cut and paste it. You can cut and paste it probably.
Yeah.
Right. That's what
I do it on an
wondering.
iPad though. Can we do it on? We have iPads. Can you do it on iPads? Yes.
Yes, it's iPad friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could cut and paste it for sure. We give this to you and we want you to make it as user friendly.
To run with it.
Yeah, exactly. So if the kids say, well, we don't need measurements, well, let's take a look. What happened? What do we measure? What do we need? And clothes and maybe, popular clothing sites. I buy things online all the time. Is it going to fit? I don't know. You kind of figure it out when you get there. These are just some, what about engineering and building and city planning? So where do these measurements come from? And this is interesting. Well, fun fact, King Henry I of England measured his foot, and that became the standard foot we use today. Did you know that, Kaya?
No.
I didn't know either. My husband's British, but he never told me that.
Oh, okay.
The standard was based on the average height of the average person, but people nowadays are growing taller than they used to be way back in the day. Although we know Og maybe was even taller, so what are these measurements? But again, average of when. So these are just good classroom discussions to have. Now they can do a little exercise. We'll use the second theory of based on the average person, because the Tanakh certainly didn't use King Henry I as a standard measure. So we have median and mean. So with these numbers, 5 is the median, that's the middle number. And average, we add up all the numbers and divide by the number of numbers. So here's a little Quizlet game, which this one's hard to do without the Quizlet, but they have to sit and think of these. It is timing you, so you might want to have them write down the numbers on an index cards themselves, and then they can match it, because it does time you. And I would need a calculator to figure this out. Okay, but when it matches, it disappears, and if it's wrong, okay, so
they would have to know that mathematical.
Well, it explains it here.
Concept. Oh yeah, all right, okay. But young ones will be a bit hard, but okay.
Yeah, but you could do
it. Maybe
I've got grade 5. Grade 5 could do that. My older grade could do that. Yeah.
Okay. Right, but Chaya, maybe you could pair up a younger and older grade. We did that a couple years ago in a project, and it was successful. The younger ones felt like $1 million because they were teaching the older ones, and the older one showed such respect and consideration. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that's amazing. Brilliant idea. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love the way that it's integrated with maths. I think it's amazing.
Thank you.
No, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's great.
I will pass it on to our instructional designers. They worked hard. So using median and mean. So now everyone measure your feet or whatever in your tefach using inches or centimeters, but you can measure it and then place all the tefach numbers in one column, pick up the middle number, that's the median. Now calculate it, repeat, and do the amma. And so what's our class's average amma? What is our class's average tefach? And then they begin to understand how they got to the average adult male. And they'll see how far off they are for today's standard. So here's the Mishnah. So most of the world uses the metric system, except for the United States, of course. And I've been living in Israel 20 years. I still can't use the metric system. So here's how the rabbis got to average adult male. So here's the pasuk, the amma in inches and the amma in centimeters, using modern standard measurements. And then there's a gap, obviously, between the smallest and the largest for each one. So here's a calculator that will calculate the measurements of halacha to inches and centimeters. So they have to sit and do some work here, and they have to figure it out. They actually have all these measurements on and you could play with this. You could do other, if you want to take it to other measurements, derech yom, mahalach yom, parsa. These were all measurements that they saw in ancient times, and you could talk about why and when and where and how. So they have to figure that out. That's some fun, interesting information. And then here they have to answer some questions. The minimum height of a sukkah according to Rav Chaim Naes, so they have to go back up over here. The amma in inches and amma in centimeters. And that you can answer here, but here, these answers don't go anywhere. We don't collate them. We don't have that data. If you want to keep that data, put it somewhere in your classroom where you could see it. You want to make posters or index cards or post-its, whatever. The minimum sukkah according to the Chazon Ish, and the maximum height of a sukkah according to Rav Moshe Feinstein, so they can get an idea of what's going on. And then here they did average sizes. Here we get to an adult. Whoops. And then if you want to, each student should measure the amount of 2 adults, or place all the numbers in a column in order of size. Maybe you can grab some teachers in the classroom, pick out the middle number, and calculate the mean. Which of the opinions above is closest to the 2 figures that you found? So all of this is very hands-on. You don't need the screen. You just need to show it. But the kids don't need an actual device. If you want to compare yourself to other schools around the world, you can add it to this chart. If you don't want to, you don't have to. And then you could do a little makerspace project, which we suggest. And here's your 3D printers or imaging. Create an amma ruler using one of the standard measures. And you can make markings for tefachim as well with the etzbaot if you want. And then use your amma ruler to outline a minimum size sukkah on your classroom wall or in this book. And that you can take to everyone. You don't need a 3D printer either. You could do it with regular rulers and centimeters and things. Questions, thoughts, comments?
How long does this take? How long would this take? A good couple of hours, no?
Yeah, well, if you can, if you don't find the median and the math, if that's too challenging for your students, so you can skip that part, although it is a really nice part of it. You can do less of it. You don't have to do all
I like that. I like that because it's integrated. I think that's important. No, but like the whole thing that you've set out, I mean, how long did you project it would take?
I think about 2 to 3 hours if you go through it slowly, carefully, but you don't have to. And
use all of it, yeah.
Yeah, do what you find exciting and inspiring for your classroom and your students and what you have. And
I think it's all exciting and it's all great. The kids would love it.
So amazing.
Yeah, it's all incredible.
Thank you. So we're going to roll over now to the Sigd project, and then we'll go back to Sukkot. We'll just have a little break from Sukkot. So like I said, we are celebrating Sigd now. We will be celebrating it in Cheshvan, even though we're just starting Tishrei. Cheshvan is coming up, so we want to be able to prep you with some activities since there's no holidays in Cheshvan, although my birthday is, so I always felt like that was the birthday of the holiday of Cheshvan. So does anyone have any background on Ethiopian Jewry, and does that hit anyone's school?
Not that I know of.
Recently, they've been on the news in Israel, like in many ways, not in the most positive one, but some difficult occurrences.
Yes, there always are, and there have been since Ethiopian Jewry, since they emigrated. Much of it is celebrated and exciting, but there are a lot of struggles. There is racism, there is low poverty. I mean, there is high poverty and struggling in socioeconomic areas. A lot of when they came here, the parents couldn't read. And you put the kids in an environment, the kids are in completely different environments than their parents, so then the parental unit is then challenged. Certainly not the same way it was before, where the father figure especially was kind of the leader, and all of a sudden the parental unit is not so effective. So there were and are continuing to be many challenges. The literacy rate has increased rapidly over the year. But this is looking at kind of it as a whole and what we can do about it and how we can help, and knowledge is always a good thing. So this powerful quote: "For the first time in history, thousands of Black people are being brought into a country not in chains but as citizens," by the New York Times. And that was powerful. So because people don't really know much about it, we have kind of like a little overview. And here is where is Ethiopia? When I moved here, I probably didn't know where it was. So in 1991, El brought over 14,000 Ethiopian Jews to Israel in 36 hours. Imagine 14,000 immigrants, poor, uneducated immigrants landing at your doorstep. How are you going to deal with that? So looking at it, asking the kids, what are you going to do? How are you going to deal? So here's just a little map of where Ethiopia is, so people get an idea. Israel, obviously, would take 759 hours to walk from Ethiopia to Israel, which many did. Something we can't really relate to. They had to walk through Egypt and Sudan. Egypt was a bit friendlier. Sudan was not. It is a hostile country. Now it's much better. How many Jews were living in Ethiopia then? There were 14,000. Now there's about 4,000 left. Just some interesting facts about Ethiopia. Coffee was invented. That should be, Starbucks should kind of advertise that, you think, no? So after they look at a map, where is it? They have to know the continent, which is obviously Africa, but they might not know that. And now hopefully they do, just by looking at a map. So they get that. How many countries do they have to cross? So again, they look at the map through here. They have to cross through at least 3 countries. And again, Sudan is a Muslim majority country and was very hostile and to immigrants, especially Jewish immigrants at the time. So here we have a little video, and we asked the kids, what else would you want to ask this couple? It's a couple, he's from New York, the couple that you'll see, and she is from Ethiopia.
In May 1991, over 14,000 Ethiopian Jews were brought to Israel in just 36 hours in a secret airlift conducted by the Israel Defense Force in conjunction with El Al, codenamed Operation Solomon, Mivsa Shlomo.
שלי כאילו הייתה מספרת לי שהכל, כאילו כל דבר בנוי מזהב, כל הזמן חלמנו על זה, כאילו אמרנו אנחנו נגיע, כן, חלמנו על זה.
הקהילה שחיה באתיופיה מהצד שלה חיה תמיד תחת הכמיהה לישראל. ישראל שלהם הייתה ירושלים, הייתה ארץ זבת חלב ודבש כמו שכתוב בתנ"ך, שכולם מסתובבים בבגדים לבנים מסביב לבית המקדש.
זה אבסורד לחשוב שההורים שלי עלו ב-1984 והם עדיין האמינו שבית המקדש עומד. היו צריכים ככה לגלות את השבר שבית המקדש נחרב, ולא רק זה, אלא מאז עוד התגלגלו עוד הרבה דברים. הם האמינו גם שכל מי שנמצא בציון הוא בצבע העור שלנו, הצבע החום. זה מה שהם האמינו. זוכרת את עצמי שהייתי בגיל ההתבגרות, עשינו עבודת שורשים, והתחלתי באמת לשאול את השאלות האלה. אז בעצם, איך ההורים שלי הגיעו לאתיופיה? אחת הגרסאות שהכי נפוצה זה באמת שיהודי אתיופיה הם צאצאים של שבט דן, שירדו בגלות 10 שבטים. גרסה נוספת היא בעצם גרסה שיהודי אתיופיה הם צאצאים של היהודים שירדו יחד עם שלמה המלך, שבעצם ליווה את מלכת שבא. על פי הגרסה הזו בעצם מלכת שבא היא מאתיופיה, והיה לי מאוד קשה לשמוע שאין גרסה אחת מאוד ברורה. היה לי מאוד קשה לקבל את זה בהתחלה. אני אחר כך הבנתי בעצם שכנראה זה שיש פער של כל כך הרבה שנים, 2500 שנה זה המון זמן, ומניחה שככה בגלל זה באמת יש את הקושי באמת לדעת בדיוק מאיפה ואיך הגיעו ומה קרה במשך כל אותם שנים.
העולם המערבי התקדם בתקופה הזו בצעדי ענק, והקהילה האתיופית או אתיופיה נשארה אי שם מאחור.
That's a little background plus a little modern challenges. So we asked the kids, what would you like to ask Esther Fredman or Asher Fredman, her husband, or what challenges do you think happened? Here it's a moment to pause. You can also pause the video, obviously, in between and sit and discuss. What were your thoughts or reactions?
You're asking us?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's very moving.
In what way?
It's just beautiful. Really amazing. Makes me really sad to see, you know, what they went through, and you know, and how hard it was for them, and yeah, all the travails that they were. It's really hard. So, what age do you think you would base that on? Would that I would say grade 5, grade 6. No, I wouldn't. I don't know whether I'm doing the younger ones. I wouldn't go younger because it's quite. It was even hard for me to see that. I don't know what you other ladies think, but that was hard. I mean, I know it's every Yom Kippur, but it was full. You know, they went through a lot of difficulties.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
And you really portrays that, and it really brings it out. It's amazing. It's very powerful.
Thank you.
It definitely is, especially nowadays. There's so much other stuff in the news all the time about the races and everything. It could be brought even to light now. How would people think? What would happen if that happened in America now? What kind of, you know, response would happen? I would say more high school, because it really is powerful to watch.
Yeah, it is very powerful. I don't know. I've got year 5. I don't know whether we show it to my year 5. You're right. 100%. Yeah.
Tanya, do you have any? What do you think?
Yeah, there's definitely the regarding their Jewish status. Mm-hmm. That is amongst rabbis, and there are those who are very strong about requesting that they do get a proper giur. So yeah, it's a very charged topic. You know, a child has to be mature to really be able to relate to it. in the full sense, and not just to look at it in a superficial way, right?
Yeah.
It's not because necessarily the Israeli society is not an accepting one. There are some questions that need answers, and for that reason, some of the issues came to surface.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we will most probably not be able to provide those answers to our students. We will leave some question marks hanging for them to maybe, further want to hear about it and a little bit more about the history in Israel, how things. Yeah.
Well, that's a good thing. Oh, and Rabbi Vadio said they all are Jewish and they should be all welcome. But that some of that worked, some of it didn't. And certainly the racism they experienced, so even the ones that did or did not convert, still existed. And again, the literacy issues, the education, there was a lot of issues, and it wasn't always so great, but there are a number of successes in Israel, and
right. Although from what I understand, it really depends from which area in Ethiopia you came from. There's a sector that is extremely intelligent and well-educated, and thereby integrated really nicely into the society. And there are those who most probably came from the farm area or whatever, that did not integrate well due to their lack of education.
Right.
So it's distinctly two groups. Many of them integrated very, very well.
Yeah. So the course talks a little bit about that too. And here they play a little game that they had preconceived notions and beliefs about what Israel and Jerusalem was like. So the multicultural, they thought it was one way. They thought everyone was dark-skinned and that the Beit HaMikdash still existed. So it fits in what was a belief and what was a reality.
Can I just add that surely having gone through that would have obviously puts them at a different disadvantage. And I know we're very much into mindfulness and, being very, caring about people. That would put them it's putting them at a disadvantage straight away through everything that they've been through. So, yeah, they would need, I'm sure that a lot of children would have a lot of, problems, unfortunately, because of because of what they've been through.
Yeah. Well, the place that Tasfachin, that organization you saw in the beginning, she runs an organization that only helps Ethiopian children. And she said the majority of it is school. The parents don't, what she experiences, and she has hundreds of children that she aids, they don't, in Israel you have to buy books. School is free, but you have to buy your books. They won't buy the books. They either can't afford them or they don't see the value of it, or both. So she will go around and buy the books and buy the equipment, but then the parents are not helping with homework. So she provides after school, like chogim, extracurricular, to provide with homework and to get them through school, get them to finish high school, a matriculation exam, get them into college if they are college bound. At least just get them through the levels of school. And that's the I spent a long time talking to her. That's the biggest challenge, is that they don't have that support that I'm sure in the environment you're in is very, very different. So here's a little bit about the background, how it's from Tanakh, from Sefer Malachim, that Malkat Shva came to visit Shlomo HaMelech and the Galut Shvatim, and that is perhaps how, the two Girsaot, how Ethiopian Jewry came to be. So again, looking at a map of ancient times and looking at the Assyrians, how they exiled the Eser Shvatim, and that's where they thought the Beit HaMikdash still existed, and then how they ended up in Ethiopia. So then, again, there should be a lot of discussion. Which Girsa do you think? Why? Looking into more history, analyzing whatever other information you have.
So what?
Some other information that they had, a little poll. How happy you think they were to leave Ethiopia? Their lives in Ethiopia were threatened. It was not a welcome environment. It was not safe. So they can discuss that. Many surprises, some of the good surprises that they found. The woman, and again from the video, said that when they were brought to a hotel, they were taken to their to the elevator and sent to their room, and an hour later someone went to check on them. They were still in the elevator. They didn't know that they were to leave the elevator at a certain floor. Many of them were stuck in their rooms. They'd never seen a door before, couldn't open a door, didn't know how to figure out a handle. Many of them didn't have shoes.
Can I interject for a second? Just going back to your previous comment regarding let them give I think is the right version. Based on what will they make that? Will you have that conversation going? Based on what?
Of the
I don't know. It's a matter of feelings. It's a matter of
history.
Knowledge and history. Exactly. So I don't know. Based on what can one have a conversation in class about that? What will they have to support their opinion?
You can look at these two sources from Makachva and the Galut of Assyria, and you can have more intense study of those two events in history. The answer is we don't know. That's the answer. So we don't know. They don't know. She said it herself. It was hard for her to understand that we don't know. I know where I come from, right? I come from Poland and Russia. My great grandparents, but I know where I come from and I know how they got there. She doesn't know. It's disconcerting for someone. So we're creating empathy for their situation.
It's a discussion not for the sake of them making a decision, but rather just giving an opinion.
Yeah, and of history and of creating empathy and saying who are we and where do we come from? And no, we don't always know. I had met a Christian tourist last week and she said, "What tribe are you from?" I'm like, okay, I don't know. Right? I don't know. You don't know. Unless you're a Cohen or a Levi, we don't know. So sometimes.
Yeah, they say most likely we're from Yehuda and Binyamin.
Right.
The non-Aseret HaShvatim.
Right, but can we be 1,000?
These are the ones that, that's the common thing, that we're from Yehuda and Binyamin. If we're not Cohen and Levi.
Right, but she wanted a direct 100% answer. I couldn't give her one. She was very and I told her about the Kohanim. She was flabbergasted at that. She's like, would they really know they're Kohanim? I said, yeah. So, but I don't know 100% if I'm Binyamin, Yehuda, whatever. It could be Zvulun for all I know. How do we know? So there's an addition to this rest of this course, which talks about the rest of the history of the Ethiopian Jewry, part 1 of 3. So there is more, but we are running out of time. And I want to make sure you see the other aspect of it and also how to get to the other courses. So there's one more about Sukkot. Here we go. So this you would access through our portal. If you click, again, this is all on our site. These are all our different courses. We have the online mensch. We have a bunch of other blended learning courses, and we have professional webinars recorded like this. We have an ebook and an EdTech toolkit, and all of that is available. If you click the pricing button up here, you can see if it's a subscription model, whatever you pay, you get more features.
So where would you access information regarding the cost and conditions of purchasing?
So here you
I found it. I looked it up. I found it. Here it is.
Pricing? Oh, under pricing?
Yes.
Yeah, here. It's got it here.
So just offhand, you can purchase individual courses. There's no commitment to a package.
You have to go in, darling. It's got you got it there.
You have to. Okay. The month. Okay. JSTEAM is. One second. JSTEAM is. All right. This is the Sukkot one. 1 second. Okay. So if you want to purchase if the first pricing model is JSTEAM and the online mensch and the EdTech toolkit. Okay. So that does not include the Ethiopian session. That would be the one learning bank. JSTEAM is. If you click on JSTEAM, then it shows you all the courses that are available through JSTEAM plus the online mensch. That's the first level. Second level.
Is there a preview to things before you purchase them? For everything, there's a.
Yeah. So we have 4 sample lessons on our website. I said that in the beginning. And these are all the JSTEAM courses we currently have. We have for every holiday. And we'll be adding also for the year. Here's 2 more, to Bishvat and having a blast at Sinai, how do you see sound? And then we have professional development courses. And we also have 2 sessions. We have sessions on Ivrit that also combine science, technology, math, and Ivrit. So we have a few sessions on Ivrit coming. So that would be called the blended learning bank. So if you want all the bank, that's model 2. And that would be the Ethiopian class as well. Model 3 is you get all of that plus professional development. We offer professional development webinars throughout the year. We will be offering, we teach something called Ivrit Innovation, which is a 3-session course, meaning on 3 different Sundays on different ways to teach Ivrit in an exciting and innovative way with a pedagogical theory behind it, of course. And then we have a No Teacher Left Behind course, which is a 4-week session over Sundays. And then we have tablet to tablet Tanakh, how to teach Tanakh using devices to deepen the learning, not just to use it as a notebook, but really to deepen the learning, to collaborate, to think more deeply, to learn more information than you can. So if you're in this model, you can send every single one of your teachers to every single one of the professional development, many as you want. If you're not in this model and you want to do the professional development, then you have to pay $125 or $175 per teacher.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I just found out I have a flood in my basement, so I'm gonna run.
Okay. Thank you for coming.
Have an easy fast.
Okay.
Samantha, can I ask you something? Good luck with your flood. So there's a convention here, like for all the Jewish studies teachers, you know, all over England. Do they know about this? I know a lot of Ivrit teachers, and they struggle to teach Ivrit here. I mean, I'm going to tell them about that, but you need to get the word out about this.
I'd be happy to. You can send the recording and the information. I put together this document for you. You can send this to everybody.
I think, is Sammy connected with this as well?
A little. This part is just my company. He's JI.
Oh,
he and I
I see. Oh, it's a pity you're. So I know he's coming. Are you coming? You're not coming. I know. I didn't see you on it. But it's such a pity because there's teachers from all over England. I mean, this is amazing, you know, and they really struggle to teach Ivrit here. There's like nothing here. There's nothing in England. There's no resources. You have everything here. It's amazing.
Thank you. So this is the other Sukkot lesson. That you want to go on a 3-day camping trip during Chol HaMoed Sukkot, but you need a sukkah, and it has to be portable, and it has to be something lightweight, and you have to be able to build it and take it down pretty quickly because you're camping. So that's the scenario, and it's a project-based learning session. And this one kind of gives you templates and PDFs, and you print them and work them out during class. But it gives you the guidelines, and then you teacher facilitate the rest of it. You don't need a device for it.
And what age have you pitched this at? Also high school?
This one
looks like older kids.
Where's my document? Here, we thought this one would be camping. It was actually a little bit older.
Yeah, 7 to 12. Yeah, it's older.
And the younger one, hand over fist, that was the first one we saw, 3 to 6.
Oh, you put 3 to 6. Okay.
But I would even do it for 7th grade. I taught 7th grade for many years, and I think it would be really successful there. So you brainstorm, research what I know, ideas I have, what I need to know, and what I've learned.
Yeah.
And the kids can do that on their own, and then design it on paper first, then go back, feedback it, talk about it, think about it, and then build it, and then see if it works, if it meets all your needs. And then final product, every group goes back and presents what they've built for their Sukkot camping trip. So this is a model. It comes with teacher's guide, the sources of halachot. This is the teacher's guide. Here are the halachot that they need. And this one is in Hebrew and in English, and you can just print this and give this to the students, and now build your prototype based on the knowledge that you have. How are you going to go on your camping trip?
Sounds amazing. Although it may not be, I'm with girls and up to grade 8, so I don't know how relevant it is, but
where do you teach?
Mostly, I don't teach. I'm the principal at JSTEAM in Toronto.
Oh, I know JSTEAM. Okay.
Who do you know at JSTEAM?
Well, back in the day when I was in high school, I had friends at JSTEAM.
JSTEAM is an elementary school.
Elementary.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's elementary. Yeah. Preschool, elementary.
Okay. I remember hearing, I guess my friends that they had went there once they were in high school. I met them, on Machach in Israel and seminary. And where'd you go?
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
But now, I'll be in Montreal.
Which seminary? Which seminary?
I was in Sharfman.
Yeah, you will have some, yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I'll be in Montreal doing training in October.
Mm-hmm.
So we also do on-site training, which Chaya knows about. I travel a lot, and I do this in schools, either professional development for specific classrooms, Tanakh, Ivrit, etc., or teaching how to use our JSTEAM and our Belmont Learning Bank courses. So if you want me to let you know next time I'm in Canada.
Absolutely. Now you have my email address. Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be great.
Okay, wonderful. And I'd love for British teachers to know about this.
Yep.
Anyone can use it. It's there for everyone.
Well, I've come from Hasmonean and they headhunted me. I'm in Nancy Rubin now. Nancy Rubin is a Sephardi school. Yeah, and so I'm representing them. But I know the teachers in Hasmo also. Yeah, I'll see what I can do. Because I know they were struggling. There's like no Ivrit thing. There's nothing set up properly here at all.
Wow.
So yeah, I'd love to help you with this cooking because I have a highly successful cookery club. I have like over 20 children every single week, and I try and also make something around the Chagim all the time. You know.
Okay. Well,
so I would love to do that. I'd love to help you with that.
Okay. Well, the cooking class we have. Sorry, I just have way too many things open here.
I found it here. It's a young girl's journey through the Israeli local streets and the ships to divine a recipe for biblical master chef contest.
Yes. So it's a lesson. It's a ready-made lesson. This one, the biblical master chef, and you can use it. And the whole point is to actually then implement it, design it in the classroom. After watching this video and seeing what she does, then have your students create their own recipes and feedback and make blogs and everything in Ivrit, obviously, and record them developing the.
Oh, it's all in Ivrit. Oh, okay. All right.
This video is all in Ivrit.
Ivrit. I didn't want to play it. I've got it right in front of me. I was going to wait till we finished because I thought it was rude. Oh, amazing.
הזאת, הכל מדויק כל כך. יופי של מנה. כיף מאוד, מאוד 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 מדויק. בן כמה אתה, דניאל?
Okay. Amazing.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And then here it has questions in it.
And we'll be in touch. Yeah.
Okay,
keep on updating us. Okay.
Okay.
All the best. Gmar Chatima Tova.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Gmar Chatima Tova from London.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, ladies. And